Okay, I'm taking Steve's advice and showing my face a little bit more. What I wanted to do today is show a new thing that we're doing with the pens. I used to do nothing but wood pens, and I decided I would start getting into composites. I've been wanting to do this for about a year now, and we finally kind of figured it out. So let me show you what I figured out, then that might help you get started on your own. Okay? So I have here a bunch of stuff. These are blanks that we've made. I'll do a close-up here in a little bit. But blanks that we made. This is a mold and all sorts of fun stuff, and it's really awesome. So I'm going to show you some things that we've done. Basically, it's mixing plastic and other things together. And when you mix two things together, it's what they call a composite. And as a shop teacher, I'm supposed to do a composites unit, so it fits in perfectly. Plus, it makes the pens look really cool. I'm using a plastic called Alumilite, is the brand. It's actually a polyurethane resin. So if you want to search for a different brand, that's fine. But a lot of people like the Alumilite stuff. So just go to alumilite.com and find that. So I've done all sorts of fun things with these blanks, and so let's cut to a close-up and I'll show you more advanced stuff. Alright, so this right here was the first try that I did. Basically, I went around my house, well, my parents' house down in Page, Arizona, and there's this cactus that grows all around our house. It's called a yucca cactus. It has, well, of course, the cactus part, and then this grows out, and you have these pods that attach like that, and then inside these pods you have a bunch of these little black seeds, and in the winter time they're falling out, they're drying out, and they were all over the place. So I just went around the house and collected them, and then I casted them with this white Alumilite plastic. So as you can see, they're all over in there, and then when I turn the pen, voila, you have all these little bits of yucca seeds in there, and it kind of makes it really cool because you can say, well, this is from stuff from where I lived. Okay, that's really nice. So you can go around your house and find stuff to make it more unique to you. The next thing that I tried was this pen here, and I liked the results so much that I went and bought a more expensive pen kit. Those other ones are like, about $5 to make a pen. This one was $25 because it has this really nice tip on there. So yeah, that's about a $25 pen kit. And a lot of people can't guess what I put in this plastic, so I will show you. Legos. Okay, now they weren't the big, ugly, huge blocks. They were these blocks that were more specialized. Okay, so little hubcaps and these more specialized pieces. That's why it's all crazy. Sometimes they look like weird alien writing or something like that all over the pen. It's really cool though. I even have a window here. You can actually see into the pen and see the brass, which is really cool. So almost every single color that Lego makes is in this pen, which is really nice. What it looked like before was this. So you can see here, here's a Lego piece. That's kind of like a chair right there. There's a piece right there, and a piece like one of those right there. So we tried to make sure that they were all over the place, even clear ones. We stayed away from white Legos because this plastic is white. Okay, so basically you mix the part A, part B together, and we assembled this mold, poured in the plastic around the Legos. We had a lot more than this, enough to fill it up to this point. And it takes about half hour for it to solidify completely and really nice. And while it's solidifying, we have it in what they call a pressure pot. So you want this whole thing under pressure, about 80 pounds of pressure pushing down, because as you stir the plastic, it makes air bubbles, and the pressure compresses them and makes them almost non-existent. So you gotta have a pressure pot for this. Okay, so that was, using white plastic. And then they also have a clear plastic. Well, with the clear, you don't want it perfectly clear, so you add in stuff like copper dust, pearl dust, and obviously Alumilite sells this. They call it Alumidust. Cool name, right? And then gunmetal, dust, gold dust, all sorts of dusts. This isn't Alumilite, but I got it from Iasco. Metallic bronze, also, and this one's from Iasco. There's a blue dust. Okay, and I saw on another YouTube channel how to make this. This is a dowel that I cut on the scroll saw. Well, I cut it in a way so that it will get to a better angle here. You guys are gonna love this. It screws apart. It's awesome. Like that. Let me show you how I did that. That's just awesome. Alright, over here. So I had a long dowel. See how I have a piece of wood? Anyway, I took this, and as I was cutting, I was spinning it. So, and this is a special blade. So I'll do another video just on that. So let me get back to the pens. So anyway, okay. So then I decided to do. My mom, is a very crafty person, and she sews a lot, and she's been collecting buttons, and so we did buttons. Now the problem with the buttons was, let me show you the blank. Here's the bottom. Look at all those cool buttons. Unfortunately, they were all at the bottom, and the top was just normal, but that still looked cool. So I was like, well, let's just do it, see what happens. And so we ended up with a pen that has buttons on one side and that cool red glow on the other side. Now this is a really shiny pen, and a lot of people that make pens use all these fancy sanding pads that go up to really high grit. I went up to 12,000 grit sandpaper. No, I'm sorry, 1200, 1,200. Sorry, 1,200 sandpaper, and then I used a Mr. Clean eraser. And the Mr. Clean eraser got it pretty shiny, and then I just used plastic polish after that, and it works just as good. So there's absolutely nothing else on here but just regular plastic polish, and it is that shiny, and it's really cool looking. Like the buttons are almost holographic sometimes, like this one right here. It like shines and then disappears, and shines and disappears, just because it's just the very last little sliver of that button. There's a couple more over here that do it too. It's really cool looking, and this is going to be for my mom, so that'll be fun. Anyway, I took this, unscrewed it like that, and I lined up a bunch of them in here and poured in that clear plastic mixed with the blue powder and a lot of these other things, and then I got this pen. It's kind of hard to see this, but it's so shiny it's hard for the camera to really get a good look at it. Maybe I'll go over to the sun here in a little bit. So you can see the spiral going down, the brown spiral going down, and it has this bright blue, dark blue in there. And the problem with doing wood and plastic is you get a different feel from the wood to the plastic. So I had to do the super glue finish, where you put a coat of super glue on, another coat of super glue, sand it, more super glue, sand it. I sanded it just a little bit too much. You can see a little bit of a dull spot right there, and There's another one right up there. Yeah, so there's like 2 or 3 spots. Yeah, up here and then down here where I accidentally sanded through it, and you can see this shine just isn't as good in those places. But for a first attempt, I think it looks awesome. Anyway, my challenge to you guys, people watching, in the comments below, please write down other things that you think would look good in a pen. Okay? We've already thought of other things like weed whacker wire, fishing line. I'm actually going to put these in next time, cut them and put them in just like this was, and we'll see these things popping out, which will look really cool. Sea sponges have been done in the past. I got a loofah sponge type thing going on. So think of anything else. Oh, pressed flowers we've thought of. So, you know, if you think of anything else that would look cool, please mention it, and I will give it a try if I like it. Nothing like pretzels, please. That don't work. All right, here we are in the sun. Man, that is shiny. It's just hard to get a good look at it through a camera. So I might give you a better idea of how awesome this pen is. It just looks cool. All right. Just for those wondering about my finishing techniques for the pen, this is just your regular magic eraser, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. You get it wet. As soon as you get up to like 600 grit sandpaper, you want to sand with it wet. So I use that, and then I use this with a rag, fine scratch remover, Novus. They make a number 3 that's for even rougher scratches, but I think this is good enough. So I use this. And then I use this as a polish. Has some polish. It also has a little bit of scratch removing properties in it. And then I use the number 1, Plastic Clean and Shine. So, and this just sprays on. These are kind of a pasty. This is thick paste, this is a thin paste, and this is just a spray. So they, you know, they go, I figured that would be the right order to do, because, you know, this is more thick, this is a little bit more thin, and this is just watery. And it works great. I know a lot of people swear by the micro mesh stuff, but I'm thinking this stuff and you know, small rags or paper towels is going to be cheaper in the long run for me, for students, because the micro mesh is actually quite expensive for a small piece of, you know, sponge sandpaper, which may or may not be abused by the student. This, if they abuse the rag, so be it, it gets thrown away. But if they abuse the micro mesh, then the entire sandpaper has to be thrown away, and I have to get a whole new set. So I'm not going to use the micro mesh, and I'm going to use these. Anyhow, just so you can see what I've done, you've seen this yucca seed, you've seen this. This is just shavings from wood and some other dust in there. This is what my students thought they'd be funny, and put some pretzels in there, and that's not going to work, so I probably won't use that one. This is the white plastic with dye in it, so it's not going to be transparent, but it'll have swirls. This is glow-in-the-dark green. I actually have glow-in-the-dark powder, so this pen will actually glow in the dark, which is really cool. But you can kind of see the tube running through it, so you have to get a really nice tube, not just the weird brass tubes. You can get the nice silver ones, and that way it looks better. So on and so forth. So yeah, those are what we've made so far, and again, give me more ideas, because we're having fun with this. I forgot one more idea we had that you guys can't take credit for. Guitar picks. Yes, guitar picks. Wouldn't that look awesome in a pen? Yes, it would. Anyway, please put some ideas down, and I will make another video showing them.